In the galactic archives of the Third Dominion, there was a chapter devoted to the youngest species to ever rise to interstellar prominence, humanity, to the Kthar, a civilization that had seen 1 billion years pass in the cold vastness of space. Humans were once an amusing, if insignificant, anomaly. They had observed the human race from the time it first crawled out of its oceans, watched as its ancestors sharpened rocks, and later marveled as they ventured into space using primitive rockets. But now the Kthar were trembling. In the great hall of the Watchers, nestled deep within the core of their homeworld, the Council of Elders convened. These beings, with bodies of shimmering energy and minds fast as stars, had seen civilizations rise and fall. They were beyond fear, or so they thought until they encountered the impossible rise of humankind. "What is the status of the humans?" croaked Eldervrith, his voice like the shifting of tectonic plates. "They evolve faster than any species we have ever encountered," replied Elder X. Cole, her many-eyed visage dimming with unease. "Our last projection placed them at least a millennium away from reaching the galactic core. Now they are months away." The room fell silent, and even the hum of the universe seemed to dim. To the Kthar, this was not just unexpected, it was terrifying. The Kthar, in their arrogance, had believed that their dominance of the galaxy was unshakable. They had watched other species rise, stagnate, and crumble under the weight of their own limitations. The Kthar had encountered no equal, no true threat in over 1 billion years. Evolution, to them, was slow, predictable, and governed by cosmic cycles, but humans broke those rules. They had defied the natural order of things. "How did they advance so quickly?" asked Elder Krog, a creature of spiraling tendrils and luminous thought patterns. He was a pragmatist, but even he could not hide the tremor in his voice. "We have no conclusive answer," admitted Elder X. Cole, tapping into the galactic network of their ancient machines. "At first, we believed it to be mere adaptation, but now they seem to change in response to the very threats we impose." The Kthar had tried to slow humanity's ascent. They have released plagues, sabotage, and misinformation into human territories, thinking the species would splinter and weaken as others have before. Instead, humanity thrived. Their bodies became immune to diseases in mere generations. Their technologies evolved faster than the Kthar could comprehend, and their unity grew stronger under pressure. "They are like a wildfire," murmured Eldervrith, peering at the latest reports. "Every time we try to contain them, they spread faster, burn hotter. Their biological and technological evolution is beyond even our most advanced predictions." It was not merely their technology. Humanity itself had begun to change. Soldiers were reported to have senses that outstripped even the Kthar's own. Humans could move in ways that bend physics and process information as if their brains were quantum engines. They had become more than flesh. Some of them, the Kthar noted, had ascended into a form of post-organic existence, a feat that had taken the Kthar several 100 million years to accomplish. For humanity, it had taken mere centuries. "They have discovered something fundamental about the universe," Elder X. Cole whispered, her voice almost reverent. "Something we have missed." The council was silent, save for the murmuring hum of their ancient machines. What could a species so young know that the billion-year-old Kthar had overlooked? "Their evolution is not merely natural," X. Cole continued. "It is willed. We theorize that humans are not limited by the constraints of biology. They are a species that evolved not by chance, but by choice." It was a terrifying thought. Evolution, to the Kthar, had always been a passive process only directed by external pressures and the slow passage of time. But humans, with their wild creativity and relentless ambition, had taken control of their own destiny. Their science bent the rules of genetics. Their minds harnessed the power of artificial intelligence, and their unity gave them a strength that the Kthar, fragmented by their own arrogance, had never achieved. "They are coming," Eldervrith finally said, his voice now hollow with the weight of the inevitable. And it was true. A fleet of human warships, if they could even be called, that was detected at the edge of Kthar space. These ships, sleek and black, defied conventional technology. They moved without engines, without fuel, gliding through space like predators stalking ancient prey. And at the helm of each ship, the Kthar knew, were human minds that had long since outgrown the limitations of flesh. "They should not have come this far," whispered Elder Krog. "They should not even exist." Yet they did. A communication came through. directed at the Kthar High Council. It was a simple message, but it carried the weight of 1,000 civilizations. "You tried to stop us," the human envoy said, their voice resonating with a calm that only those who had mastered the universe could possess. "But you only made us stronger." The council felt a wave of panic, a sensation they had not known in eons. "You will surrender," the human envoy continued, "or we will show you the full potential of human evolution." For the first time in 1,000,000,000 years, the Kthar Dominion faced an enemy they could not understand, an enemy that did not follow the rules of the cosmos as they knew them, and for the first time, the Kthar trembled in fear. Not because of the strength of humanity, but because of their potential. The Kthar Dominion's homeworld was shrouded in a silence that spanned across their vast planet, spanning cities. For 1,000,000,000 years, these towering metropolises had buzzed with the calm confidence of an eternal empire. But now, every mind within the Kthar network was tuned to the approaching fleet. Even their artificial suns seemed to dim under the weight of the coming storm. The human ships, if they could still be called ships, lit through the dark space on the edge of Kthar territory. The Kthar, having long since given up the need for material bodies, were scattered across the stars in great energy nexuses. Their minds could reach any corner of their empire in an instant, and they coordinated on a level far beyond any mortal race. Yet, they could not stop this. "They're not even following the laws of space," Elder Croc whispered, his essence shimmering nervously. "How do they move like that? It's as if they command space itself," Elder X Cole added, watching the data streams. "They're not bound by inertia, gravity, or time. They glide." The Kthar had spent millions of years refining their starships, perfecting faster-than-light travel and dimensional shortcuts. But these human vessels ignored such limitations. Some of the Kthar had begun to whisper of the terrifying truth: they weren't just ships, they were extensions of the human will, powered by thought, desire, and sheer force of belief. As the human fleet moved closer, the council met in a final attempt to prevent what they feared was inevitable. Elder Vruth, ever the pragmatist, spoke first. "Negotiation is our only option," he said, his energy formed dim but resolute. "We underestimated them. We should not have interfered with their evolution, but now we must salvage what we can." X Cole's form pulsed, flaring with disdain. "You suggest submission." "Survival," Vruth corrected. "We cannot stop them. Not now. Their science, their evolution is beyond our comprehension. If we face them in battle, we risk annihilation." "But we are Kthar," X Cole growled, her form blazing with indignation. "We are the oldest civilization in the galaxy. What can they possibly have that we do not?" The room darkened as Croc interjected, his voice low and filled with resignation. "They have surpassed the need for time. X Cole, they don't evolve like we did. They change at will. They bend the universe itself to their will." "Exactly," Vruth said, seizing the moment. "This is not about pride. It's about survival. We must communicate with them, offer them something, anything, before they decide to wipe us out." A silence fell over the council as they considered their options. The humans had given them a choice: surrender or be destroyed. It was an ultimatum the Kthar had never expected to hear from a species so young. Finally, X Cole's flames dimmed. "Very well," she conceded, "but if they refuse our offer, we will fight with everything we have." The Kthar sent their message to the humans, hoping for a dialogue, hoping to negotiate terms that would allow them to retain some semblance of their former power. But the response came swiftly and without mercy. The human envoy appeared in their minds, a holographic projection of a human figure that radiated power and calm. They were unlike anything the Kthar had seen before, humanoid in form, but aglow with a luminous energy, their body an ethereal blend of matter and consciousness. "We received your message," the human envoy said, their voice carrying the weight of a species that had transcended the physical. "But there will be no negotiations. You have ruled this galaxy for far too long, stifling the growth of others. Your time is over." "Then you seek our destruction?" Vruth asked, his form trembling slightly. "We seek balance," the human said. "The galaxy must evolve. You have controlled it for eons, but in doing so, you have stagnated it. Evolution demands change, and now, we are the instruments of that change." Elder X Cole flared up, her anger blazing through the energy fields. "You would claim dominion over all. You think yourselves gods." The human envoy's expression softened. almost amused. We don't need to be gods. We are human. We grow. We change. We adapt. We become what we must. That is our strength, and it is why you cannot stop us. The Kthar had never felt such a cold, sweeping wave of dread before. The humans weren't claiming dominion through force, they were taking it because the galaxy, the very fabric of reality, was bending to their will. They had not just evolved biologically, they had evolved in ways that defied the understanding of the oldest beings in the universe. You have one final chance, the human envoy continued, their voice like the roaring thunder of a storm. Join us, become part of the new order, or face extinction. Wrath's energy pulsed in uncertainty. Joining the humans meant surrendering their autonomy, their pride, their very identity as Kthar. But extinction, that was unthinkable. We need more time, he said. There is no time, the human replied. Evolution waits for no one. The communication cut off, and the Kthar were left in silence once more. But now, that silence was filled with a grim certainty. The human fleet moved into Kthar space, its advance unstoppable. The Kthar, for all their knowledge, for all their power, could do nothing but watch as their defenses crumbled before the humans' unimaginable abilities. Energy shields were bypassed, quantum defenses torn apart by forces they couldn't comprehend. It was as if the humans had mastered a dimension of reality that the Kthar could not even perceive. Elder X Cole made one last desperate attempt. She gathered the remaining fleet of the Kthar, launching a counterattack that would have wiped out any other species in the galaxy. But as the human ships moved closer, they didn't engage in battle. They simply absorbed the energy, turning the full might of the Kthar against them. In the end, the Kthar knew they had lost not just a war, but their place in the universe. As the last of the Kthar's strongholds fell, the galaxy felt the shift. A billion-year-old empire crumbled in a matter of days, and the humans' house once fragile, insignificant creatures took their place. But they did not declare themselves rulers. They did not impose their will on the galaxy as the Kthar had. The remnants of the Kthar scattered into the far reaches of the galaxy, a once proud and ancient civilization now reduced to exiles, watching as their dominion crumbled around them. What remained of their leadership retreated into hidden dimensions, safe from human reach, but even there, they felt the pull of change that humanity had unleashed upon the cosmos. It was a force too vast and too alien for the Kthar to counter. For the first time in their billion-year existence, the Kthar knew what it was like to fear for their future. On Earth, the homeworld of humanity, a quiet transformation was taking place. To the untrained eye, it looked much like the world it had been only a few centuries ago. Cities thrived, rivers flowed, and stars blinked in the night sky. But under the surface, everything had changed. Humanity was no longer just a collection of individuals bound by biology. They had become a collective, linked through a vast, interconnected consciousness known as the network. It was a fusion of organic thought and digital intelligence, seamlessly integrated into every aspect of human life. The human race now evolved not just as a species, but as a singular, unified force. Their bodies were fluid, capable of changing form at will. Their minds stretched across galaxies, communicating faster than light, thinking in dimensions that defied physical reality. And as humanity evolved, so too did their understanding of the universe. Deep beneath the surface of Earth, in a hidden complex known as the Crucible, humanity's brightest mind worked tirelessly. The Crucible had become the center of human advancement, a place where the boundaries of existence were pushed beyond what anyone had once considered possible. At the heart of the Crucible, a council of post-humans, those who had transcended the limits of biology and now existed as energy and thought, convened. They were not mere leaders, they were the guiding consciousness of human evolution. The Kthar have been subdued. One of them spoke, their voice resonating not just in sound but in thought, felt by all those in the council. But we are not done. The others nodded in agreement, their collective thoughts reaching out to every corner of the network. We have surpassed them, another said, their form shimmering between reality and something else entirely. But there is more, something beyond even what we have achieved. That something was the singularity, the ultimate point where humanity would merge fully with the universe itself. It was a concept the Kthar had never dared to explore, held back by their rigid adherence to their ancient knowledge. But for humanity, nothing was forbidden. They would push through the final barrier point where they would no longer be just part of the universe, but would become it. We have identified the singularity. One of the post-humans continued. It is close, but it will require all of us to reach it. Even now, there are forces in the galaxy that may try to stop us. They did not fear these forces anymore, but there were whispers of other ancient species, creatures older than even the Kthar, hidden deep in the black voids between galaxies. These entities had watched as the Kthar rose to power and had retreated into darkness when the Kthar became the dominant force. But now that the Kthar had fallen, these ancient powers stirred. They are coming, another voice said, calm but resolute. They sense what we are becoming. They will not allow us to reach the singularity unchallenged. The council did not flinch. Humanity had faced existential threats before, from their earliest days, fighting for survival on a primitive planet, to their wars against alien empires. They had grown stronger with every conflict. But this was different. This was a battle not just for survival, but for the future of reality itself. Far beyond the galaxy, in the darkest corners of the universe, the Ancient Ones stood. They were older than time, entities born from the first moments of creation. They had watched over the cosmos, guiding and manipulating its forces from the shadows. They had seen countless civilizations rise and fall, and none had ever threatened their control, until now. The rise of humanity had disturbed them. The humans were not like any other species. They had evolved too quickly, learned too much, and now they sought to transcend the very laws of existence. One of the Ancient Ones, a being known in forgotten myths as the Watcher, gazed into the galaxy with eyes that burned like dying stars. It saw the ripples of human progress, the way they bent space and time with their will. It felt the tremors in the fabric of reality as the humans pushed towards the singularity. They cannot be allowed to continue, the Watcher thought, its voice echoing across the void, reaching the other Ancient Ones. If they succeed, they will become more than gods. They will reshape the cosmos in their image. The other ancient beings murmured in agreement. They had never intervened directly in the affairs of mortal species before, content to let the universe run its course. But this was different. Humanity was not just evolving, they were rewriting the rules of the universe. They must be stopped, the Watcher said, its voice a command. And so, the Ancient Ones, for the first time minions, prepared for war. Back on Earth, in the Crucible, the Council of Post-Humans felt the tremor of ancient minds moving across the void. They sensed the attention of the oldest beings in the universe shifting towards them, but they did not fear it. We are ready, one of the post-humans said, their form pulsing with energy. Let them come. We will show them what it means to evolve. And so, as the Ancient Ones gathered their strength, humanity prepared for the final battle. This was no longer just about survival or dominion over the galaxy. This was about the future of existence itself. Humanity had become a force of natural evolutionary engine that could not be stopped. They were no longer bound by the rules of the cosmos. They had surpassed the Kthar, and now they would face the last remnants of the old order. The Ancient Ones, for all their power, were relics of a bygone era. And humanity, they were the future. They were the next step in the universe's grand design. As the stars themselves seemed to tremble with anticipation, humanity's journey toward the singularity continued. The battle to determine the fate of all reality was about to begin. The Ancient Ones, vast and unknowable, emerged from the void between galaxies like titanic shadows. They were not bound by matter or energy. As humanity understood them, they were constructs of pure cosmic intent, older than stars, and more powerful than any force the universe had yet encountered. In their long existence, they had watched over the birth and death of countless civilizations. Entire galaxies had blinked into and out of existence under their gaze, but they had always remained detached, indifferent, allowing the natural cycles of rise and fall to play out. They believed themselves to be the final arbiters of cosmic balance, beings that transcended evolution itself. Until now, humanity was the anomaly. They had evolved too quickly, bypassing the slow, predictable paths that other species followed. Their minds were not bound by the limitations of biology, and their technology was not merely advanced, it was an extension of their very will. They had created ships that moved through dimensions the Ancient Ones barely understood, and they had unlocked the secrets of consciousness itself. Now, as the Ancient Ones coalesced, preparing to strike, they felt something strange, a ripple of uncertainty. It was the same feeling that at once unnerved the Kthar, the sensation that they had encountered something fundamentally different, something they could not fully comprehend. In the crucible, humanity was not idle. The collective consciousness of the post-human council hummed with anticipation. They knew the ancient ones were coming, vast, primordial forces that had been hidden for eons, but humanity was ready. "We've waited for this moment," one of the council members said, their form flickering as they synchronized with the network. "This is the final test, not of strength, but of evolution." The others nodded. The singularity was close, within humanity's grasp, but it would not come without resistance. The ancient ones had held sway over the universe for so long that they could not accept the idea of change. They had become stagnant, unable to evolve any further, and that was their weakness. "We've surpassed the Kthar," another post-human added. "But these beings are different. They exist outside time, outside space. They'll come for us in ways we can't predict." "They will," agreed the lead council member. "But we aren't bound by time or space either. We've learned how to manipulate reality itself. They may have power, but we have evolution. We'll adapt faster than they can comprehend." A pulse of energy swept through the network, connecting every human mind across the stars. There was no fear, only the sharp focus of a species on the brink of a new era. Humanity had evolved far beyond its origins, but the final step was before them, the singularity, the point where they would transcend all known laws of existence. "We will not just defeat them," the lead council member said, "we will evolve past them." The ancient ones arrived at the edge of human space. They did not travel in fleets, nor did they appear as any tangible force. They were dark ripples in the fabric of reality, their very presence warping space and time. Planets flickered and stars dimmed as they moved, as if the universe itself recoiled in fear of them. Humanity did not send warships to meet them. Instead, they sent themselves. Across the galaxy, humanity's greatest minds, both organic and synthetic, converged in one unified push toward the singularity. Their bodies were no longer required. Their thoughts, desires, and what had become the force that drove them forward, they were everywhere and nowhere. A living network of consciousness that spanned light years in an instant. The ancient ones felt this and recoiled. For the first time in their existence, they encountered a force that did not obey the natural order. The humans were not fighting in any traditional sense. They were becoming something else, something that bent the very fabric of the cosmos around them. "We are the arbiters of this universe," one of the ancient ones whispered into the void. Its voice was like the death cry of stars, echoing through the dark. "You defy the natural law. You seek to become God, but you cannot." The human response was not words, but action. The network surged, and in that moment, the ancient ones realized what was happening. Humanity was not just evolving, they were evolving the universe itself. Every human mind, every thought, was aligned toward a single purpose, to ascend. Their consciousness spread like a virus, rewriting the laws of physics, of reality, bending space and time to their will. The ancient ones struck. Their attacks were not physical. They assaulted the very fabric of human thought, attempting to fracture the collective will that humanity had formed. They twisted time, tore at the boundaries between dimensions, tried to shatter the fragile network that held humanity together. But it wasn't fragile. Humanity had grown beyond the need for individuality. They were a collective, and when one mind faltered, 1,000 others rose in its place. The ancient ones lashed out again, with even greater force. But every strike only made the human network stronger. The attacks were absorbed, studied, and adapted to in real time. "We are not bound by the rules you impose," the human collective replied. "We are evolution itself." In the vastness of space, the battle between the ancient ones and humanity raged. But it was not a war of destruction. It was a contest of existence of who would define the future of the universe. And slowly, inevitably, the ancient ones began to falter. They had been eternal, but they had never evolved. For eons, they had been content to sit at the top of the cosmic hierarchy, never questioning their place in the order of things. But humanity was different. They had never stopped growing, never stopped pushing the boundaries of what was possible. And now, as they faced the final challenge, they were doing what they did best. They were changing. The ancient ones felt their grip on the universe slip. The very laws they had enforced for so long were unraveling as the humans rewrote reality around them. Space bent, time fractured, and dimensions folded in ways the ancient ones had never imagined. "You are chaos," One of the ancient ones spat, its form flickering as it struggled to maintain its presence. You will destroy the universe. No, humanity replied, their voices unified. We will reshape it. And they did.